All right, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Thursday night's coverage. This will be a foreign voice for a lot of you. It's me, Alan Patterson, and I am here tonight with my good friend at Raceface's League, and we're going to be covering tonight the Div 1 Pro Division. Gareth Hawkins, are you there, sir?
I am. Good evening and hello to everyone this evening. Welcome and thank you for joining us this evening, Mr. Patterson. It's an absolute pleasure having you with us. Looking forward to this one.
Yeah, definitely. And thanks for being here. I'm just trying to catch up and get my system and my camera stuff also working. But we're going to bring some awesome coverage here for everybody at on Raceface tonight. It's Paul Ricard from Le Castellet in France, and I think this is the second last round of the season, if I'm not mistaken.
That is it, penultimate round. A couple of good battles we should be seeing tonight for that championship title.
Yeah, I've been doing a little bit of homework, just getting some stuff in place and looking at what the current team positions are, and make no mistake, there's some very close dices happening in this league, both from a team perspective as well as the individual point standings. And from what I can see, the weather looks very good, so I think they're going to have perfect conditions to have a very close and exciting race here this evening.
Well, glad to see it. There's no rain about. As mentioned a little bit earlier before we came on air, Monday night with Monday Night Racing, caught a bit of a surprise, but I suppose that's also down to not actually going practicing on the practice servers, so you get forewarned there's going to be water. But yes, luckily there is no water, but because this track in general for me is a challenging one. It just seems like there are no boundaries to where you should be riding. You just need to try and stay in the between the in the black stuff. So when there's water, it's problematic.
Yeah, for sure. Listen, these guys reference this track as like driving around Pick and Pay parking lots. You know, it's got a there's no barriers, there's not too much drama that can happen, but there is. You know, if you have a huge moment and you slide the wrong way, even down the Mistral Straight, the barriers are quite close. You can have a huge coming together somewhere on the track.
Should make for some interesting moments this evening, that's for sure.
Just still getting everything working and going. I think we're all good to go. So just a little bit of history for those who are not aware. Paul Ricard, the D is actually a silent D, so that's how it's pronounced. This was built in 1969, and it's hosted the FIA Formula One race since 2018. But prior to that, it did host a whole bunch of them during the mid-70s to 80s, and then it got moved to a few other tracks. The GT3 record on this track from 2019 is held by a Ferrari 430 with a lap time of a 1:53.7. So
right.
Daniel Rowe currently in his McLaren at a 1:53.5. He's already quicker than the real men on the track, and it shows good pace already around the track.
No, absolutely. That's always a good marker to gauge whether you're getting the right pace, is what is the real record on that track. And that's if you're beating that and you're not even fully into your qualifying laps yet, I'm sure he's going to shave a little bit more of that and possibly someone else go and steal that top spot. We know Tariq Adam has also been flying this season. The likes of Junior Mccall, I mean, he's also been having a good run. Johan Bego Grobler, I mean, there's quite a couple of guys that could surprise in the last lap,
100%. Listen, Bego Grobler up at the top of the driver's log at the moment for Hybrid Academy, that's Team Velocity. Him and Tariq Adam, they have been just dominating, and they're both very capable drivers. But then, like you say, you've got both McCalls here, Daniel Rose here. There's a lot of people that can upset the apple cart tonight, so everybody's going to have to be wide awake with what's going on. Let's not forget we got a couple of drivers also carrying some ballast here tonight.
That they are indeed.
So that's also going to play into the hands of a few people.
And you'll see most of the ballasts are sitting, I suppose we could even bring that up, but most of the ballasts are sitting on those that are fighting for those top spots.
That's
I
true.
think Bago Hrobler is sitting with 28 kilo ballast. The next one is Rowe, so that's also going to play quite an interesting role in this.
Yeah, so just to go over that quickly, Bago Hrobler, you are indeed correct. In the Bentley, he's carrying 28 kilos of ballast. Daniel Rowe in the McLaren, 24 kilos. And Tariq Adam in the other McLaren, also with 20 kilos. Paul Gerber in the Honda NSX, doing very well, and he's carrying 16 kilos. Addison also in in the Aston Martin Vantage with 12 kilos, and then we're down to the 8s, 6s, and 4s. So, yeah, there's a good couple of extra heavyweights on the grid tonight, and we'll see how they fare carrying the extra weight.
Now, one thing I think might be interesting is come next week in Suzuka. I mean, we've been putting a lot of practice in Suzuka now recently for a 24-hour that's coming up. And I tell you, getting your weight shifting through those S curves right is tricky in itself. When you've got a full load, it starts getting even more tricky. Now, if you've got a load plus the ballast, ending off come next week, we'll probably see the same result where we've got all the top guys with the ballasts, and it's going to be interesting to see how they manage trying to get through those S curves and some quicker guys behind them. I mean, you shuffle out a little bit there, and same with all these double apexes. With your weight shifting, you get it a little bit wrong, and you're not used to it. That leaves the gap for the guys behind.
Indeed. Listen, this track, it's kind of. I was reading up just before I came online and watching one or two videos, and the drivers and some of the experts say that this track doesn't cater much or well for overtaking, because most of the corner entry speeds are so high. They're very fast, high-speed entry corners, and then you've got this one abrupt kind of very sharp right-hander as you lead onto the start-finish line. So I think most of the overtakes are going to happen if people are maybe not aware of who's around them and where they are on the track, and then possibly also maybe are coming together through one of those fast sections, and then a little bit of a nudge or a bump, and they'll swing off track, and that'll allow somebody who will take advantage to overtake and make up a position or two.
No, 100%. And you seem to know the section names, so that's also beautiful. That long straight at the back, going up there, if you're able to get a nice little slipstream, you can also, that's a nice little overtaking. As long as you just be able to make a move before you halfway up there, because the slipstream you get there, the guys can drag you up. And we've actually noticed you must see the Ferraris. I mean, they quite easily get over 280 k's an hour. Oh, there goes Junior Mccall flying through the Pick and Pay parking lots.
Yeah, look at that.
So they get up to over 280 quite easily. The Mercs, the Astons, I mean, there you're struggling to get up to just over 275. So they've got to use those little moments and try and get the right timing, get dragged behind someone. And but that sweeping bend at the top right, I mean, there you also have a bit of argy-bargy shoulders coming out there.
Yeah, definitely. Look. First sector's pretty, off the line. You go through the first tight left-right chicane, Lavaria, and then you head down to the bottom, which is Barrage La Hotel, and then Du Camp, which is the double right-hander. You've got to get good drive out of there to get onto the Mistral straight. Now, we're talking a 1.2 kilometer long straight line. So depending on who's got a very well set up car, low aerodynamic, but you can't actually remove the aero totally. There's still got to be some form of downforce. So if you get into a draft coming out of that last corner onto the Mistral straight, I've seen and been in races where a double overtake has happened, where the guy who got overtaken pulled back in behind the guy just past him, and then went back past him before they got up to Corp de Science up at the top. And there's definitely sections where overtaking can and will definitely happen. This straight certainly helps with that, Gareth.
No, it does. It does. Seeing some of those pink colors coming through, support for cancer. The
Yep,
Black Widow
that's
Racing
forward
team.
one. Yep, Team BWR. I am seriously struggling on my own screen just to change cameras and pick up other people. So I'm going to probably just follow with yours for now. It's just something
That's all
weird
good.
that's happening here. I'm not too sure why, but I'll solve it as we carry on through the evening.
And your shift and arrow, shift left and right.
Yeah, that works, but that's not how I want to use it. You know, I want to use the camera tool to do it.
That's it.
I'll get there shortly. Right, so what's our time left here?
Just about hitting 7 minutes.
Yep. Currently, quickest at the moment, I've got Daniel Rowe, 153. I don't know if you want to change that screen. Oh, there it is on the right. I'm sorry. Okay, got you. I'm used to the tower on the in-game screen. So Daniel Rowe, 153.3. Tariq Adam not too far back. He's 3/10 back. The two McLarens up at the top of the grid. And then we've got Addison in third. He's 7/10 back. Bernard King in fourth place, 8/10. Morgan Mccall, 9/10 back. And so Junior Mccall in sixth, 1 second back. So a second covering the top 6 at the moment. And interesting, the cars are lining up in pairs. So we've got 2 McLarens, 2 Astons, and then 2 Mercedes. And the first Bentley for that matter, Etienne Kleb in 10th. And the first Ferrari, Mark Antel, down in 11th place. And as expected, a Porsche struggling down in 16th. Masters.
Mr. Masters with his Porsche.
Yep.
He just doesn't seem to want to let go of it. That for me is the most difficult, and one of our team members, he loves it. He'll swear by it. But I tell you, although now that I've had a little bit more seat time, I'll probably try it again at some point because it is fun. But most of the fun is just feeling that accomplishment of getting through a corner and not flying out.
Exactly. Yeah. No, it is. It's good fun. It's a on some tracks it operates. I mean, around Kyalami, for example, it's almost unbeatable, but
yes.
The Ferrari is also a very quick car there. So you see one of the Mercs thundering up the Mistral Straight. Grayling, and he's currently in 7th. 1.1 seconds off. 3 Mercs actually all grouped together now with the 2 McCalls, the 2 brothers, and Kralin. I always like doing this because it actually adds some kind of a support for those who have favorites as far as manufacturers goes.
Absolutely.
It's
good to see that spread.
Yeah. Our first and quickest Lexus, Van Wyk, down in 13th place, and then a Honda actually, Kerber in 14th place. And
now Gerben, interesting, before we move off him, so we'll keep an eye, but he seems to have a little trend of trying to see how late he can get into the race before doing his pit stop. Okay. So there's 2, Nkube and Gerben. So we'll see between the 2 of them who tries to push the furthest. But in the last couple of races, we've actually seen both of them get to quite high up because they actually wait till quite late before deciding to do that.
So they're running full tanks and they're going right
so
to the end, and then
that's it. So let's see where Gerben, how does that trick work for him tonight?
Right. We'll see what Paul Gerben does there. And then obviously we've also got, Nkube, as you say, he's in one, if not the sole Audi. So we do have a couple of singular cars, Van Wyk in the Lexus and Nkube in the Audi.
And then of course that Lambo there.
Mark Henneberry, he's the same as Masters in the Porsche. Mark Henneberry races that Lambo everywhere, and he loves that car. And hey, it's an awesome car. Let's be real.
Absolutely.
Great looking car, and it sounds amazing. So quickly, just to update team points. Currently, both Hybrid Academy teams, Velocity in first and Team Stealth in second place. Velocity clearly walking away with it by the looks of things in this season. And then third place, ATK Academy, obviously the 2 brothers. fourth place, we've got Retro Slipstream, and fifth, Hybrid Community Team.
Yeah, that's it. You just see blue hybrids everywhere, all over the place. I mean, Koenig and myself were talking about this umbrella, or what, a gathering of hybrid.
Gathering. Okay, I see which. Yeah. 2.5 minutes left, and we're currently watching Tariq Adam in the. Guess what? It's the Hybrid Academy McLaren, and he's running quite well. 3/10 of Daniel Rowe's time at the moment, but they are up at the sharp end of the stick, and it looks like they're going to stay there. They've in fact extended that gap to Morgan Mccall, who's 7/10 back. So, wow, these guys have. You know what? When the teams put in that amount of practice, it kind of shows. You'll see. You know, like they say, the cream rises to the top.
Yeah.
And it helps to have very evenly matched drivers in the same teams, which Rowe and Tariq Adam have done. You know, they were teamed up with the Bentleys, and they race in the other leagues as well, and they're literally side by side. They finished, you know, nose to tail in pretty much all the races. So clearly a very well matched pair.
Absolutely, and you can actually see during the race how they work as a team. And you'll probably see it tonight. Tariq is going to sit behind Daniel Rowe for majority of the time until someone else is able to come and squeeze between them. But generally, you'll actually see Tariq just sit on Daniel Rowe's tail and just stick to his lines. The two of them, it looks like a little worm, you know, dicing through the traffic.
Exactly. Yep. Now, here's an interesting stat for you. Currently, the quickest man in the second sector, which includes the Mistral Straight, is none other than Van Wyk, currently in 14th place in the Lexus.
Okay.
That is the quickest car in a straight line up the Mistral Straight at the moment. That's quite interesting. And then first and third sectors dominated by Daniel Rowe in the McLaren.
Yeah, you see it's those little windies and whatnot down at the bottom.
But let's give the man credit where it's due. He is also carrying 24 kilograms of ballast, and he's still 3/10 up the road.
That's it. And I wonder how much, I mean, especially if you're sitting with that ballast, it's quite important to get behind somebody as quickly as possible up these straights. Now, if you're leading, so you're taking all of that wind, plus you got the ballast, and you got to pull Adam up that hill. So he's got his work cut out for him.
Definitely. Yep. And although it looks like it on the game, I had a good look at the geography. It's a constant climb all the way up the Mistral Straight. So the top half of the track, that fast right-handing sweep, what do they call that? It's known as Courbe de Signs or Cygnus or whatever. That corner, and then the big round double right-hander, that is the highest point of the track. So they go uphill there and then come down to the start-finish line, which is actually going back downhill to the bottom of the circuit. So it's the cars need a pile of horsepower to actually go up the Mistral Straight and to get a fast lap, you know?
No, absolutely. Or have the right aero and not be a tank taking on all that, guzzling all that air as you're going up there. There's no walls, no trees, no nothing to protect you, pal. It's you in that wind. Yeah, it's like up the Kalahari.
Exactly. Good. Alrighty, we are coming down to just under 4 minutes left, and we'll be going on to we'll be ticking straight over into the race. In fact, that is qualifying done, and we're now just in the overtime and waiting for everything to tick over. Both McLaren's front row, and we have B. King in the Aston Martin Vantage, who popped up into third place. He went past Mccall and Addison.
Yeah, there we go.
So there's a change right in the dying moments.
Another man to keep an eye on.
Yeah, Bernard King, you can't count him out either. And he is very comfortable in the Aston. So let's see what happens.
there we have it.
There we have it. We're done.
Moments to the penultimate kickoff.
Well, we've got a little bit of a gap. Good evening to everybody on the YouTube channel. Hello to Martin Jabir. He's there. Zamir Bismillah's there. Got Eskom problems. Hasn't a lot of people got Eskom problems? Dash. Zander, I haven't had words with you for a while. How are you, Zander? From BWR. And Martin Jabir saying, hello, boss. So you got to behave when the boss is around.
That's for certain.
And click on the little like button to help improve Raceface and the social media side of things. It'll be great if you can just like the stream, and hope we have a good race this evening. DDDZA saying let's go.
So while everyone else is getting their coffee and snacks, I think I'm going to do the same and replenish my caffeine mug yet again.
Oh, no problem. You go and do that. I'll hold the fort, yeah? So, McLaren, Aston Martin. Then we've got Morgan Mccall in fourth in the first of the Mercedes. Addison in fifth, also in an Aston Martin. And then Krayling in sixth place. Johannes Krayling, also in a Mercedes. Jason Isherwood, as usual in his Aston, doing as usually good as he does. He is extremely regular and frequent, and manages to be there or thereabouts week in, week out. So we'll see how Jason gets along. Junior Mccall in 8th place in his Mercedes. And then just behind him, Christopher Radloff in 9th place. 10th place, Ryan Ottens. Ryan Ottens in another Aston Martin. And then Etienne Kleb, the first of the big Bentleys, in 11th. Mark Antel in his Mark Antel in the Ferrari in 12th. And Keegan Masters in a Porsche. And Mr. Paul Gerber in his Honda in 14th place. Hannes van Beek in the Lexus, 15th. And then Ferrari in a Ferrari. Bagger Krobler quite down there in a Bentley. And I'm sure this will be a drive through the field attempt by Johan. And then Dwayne Hall in 18th place, also in a big Bentley. Tina Nkube in his Audi R8. And 20th, it's Mark Henneberry in the Lambo. One of my favorite cars, so we'll watch carefully and see how he can bring the Lambo up through the field.
So is that one of the cars that you generally drive with?
No, I'm a Van Beek driver. I'll be in the Lexus, to be honest with you.
Okay.
That's kind of what I've driven with this league. The other car that I did, I started with the Lambo, but I struggled with it and moved away from the Lambo. I'm a really big fan of the BMW M6, but it's just so difficult to drive quick, so I've kind of given that a miss. And now with recent release of the new BMW, the new M4 GT3, the M6 is already outdated, so ACC are going to have to do an update in the next couple of months.
Classic BM facelift.
Yeah, and geez, it's an ugly face, but it's a good racing car, so let's see what happens, you know.
Well, one thing I know is one of the drivers that also does Raceface in the Pro-Am division, Chris Budnick, he quite enjoys his BM in actual racing. He swears by it.
Yeah, listen, I've been a BM fan since the 70s with the Batmobiles. I saw them when I was a youngster growing up at Kyalami, the original Kyalami, and we used to go to the 9 hours. I've always been a BMW fan, and the sound of that car is just absolutely amazing. Although the current cars don't sound the same, but you know, it's just, that's me. I've been a BMW fan forever and a day.
No, that sound is something that's inspiring. That's one thing I do enjoy of the BM.
Right, I'm going to, I'll have a look at this problem another day, but I'm going to drive this camera, my camera, the good old manual way. But I'll be watching most of your stream. I'm sure we'll be fine. As we see, Daniel Rowe actually came to a standstill on the Mistral Straight while he was waiting for the field to bunch up behind him.
Possibly getting close to teleported. Being advised by the game, he needs to take it easy.
I'm sure.
Slow down a little.
I'm sure.
I doubt that's how you want to start your penultimate round when you're fighting for a championship points.
Definitely.
Or titles.
Amp Zeta is also here on the YouTube. Good evening. This is going to be a good one. Zander, good to see you, buddy. Right. As we see them weaving up this long straight, 1.2 kilometers of straight line. I don't know if you were here when I went through the grid quickly, and I see Bega Krobler in 17th in the Bentley leading the championship. So that's going to be a drive through the grid from him. It's going to be interesting to watch how he comes along there. Now have a look at these two guys. They're literally in each other's cars, as you can see them up at the front row of the grid. Rowe and Tariq obviously messing around, but they just like being so close. Yep, there you can see Jan Bega Krobler's big Bentley, also the hybrid colors, and it's going to be interesting to see how he manages to deal with all the traffic. Everyone's getting in a hurry up now, as you can see, coming down to the last.
Yeah, that's it. Side by side.
So got to get into position quickly, and everyone tears into position, drives into everyone ahead of them, and then slows down again. Daniel Rowe playing some serious mind games here with the whole field. See one of, I think that's Morgan Mccall in the ATK Mercedes. He wants to just put foot and get going. Right, Gareth, are we ready, sir?
We are ready. Let's hope everyone else is. Here we go. For a second, my broadcast app was lying to me. Just got that restarted. Now the names are correct.
And there we go. We got green lights and they're off. And the two McLarens pretty much next to each other as they come into turn one. The two McLarens touching as they come through T1. And King is looking for a way through, but Tariq Adam runs it all the way to the side of T2. And they have to fall in behind him, but I think Morgan Mccall's got the jump for ATK Mercedes, and he's coming through into third place. He has made that position. Oh, and there's a spinner further back. I think that is Radloff.
Oh,
he's
dear.
turned the Aston. Okay, now we've just got to let the timing screen catch up. All right, there we go. Rose in the lead. Tariq 8/10 off the back of him, and Morgan Mccall pressing. Morgan Mccall up next to Tariq as they hit the Mistral Straight. And just behind them, Mr. King in his Aston Martin picking up a double draft here. Oh, they're going three abreast. Gareth.
Yeah.
Hold my beer. Watch this. That is an incredible sight. Three abreast as they run up. Here we go into the sharp right-hander. Wow. Look at that. The Aston comes through into second from fourth. So King has made a huge jump there. He was on the inside, so he's made the biggest benefit out of that.
King definitely sitting in a good position. What he needs to do is just try and get onto Rowe's tail as quickly as possible. Again, you'd want to get dragged up that straight on the back end and not be left behind.
Morgan Mccall's popped into third. So Tariq's dropping here. He's lost 2 positions. Everyone needs to just settle down. At least, you know, none of the leaders have been turned around. So there's 80 minutes here, guys. So there we go. First lap done and dusted. First, second, third, fourth, pretty close in proximity. And then a bit of a gap back to Junior Mccall, who has himself moved up to 5th from 8th. And off we go.
See Masters holding Antil back a little bit in his Porsche there. The lonely Porsche, the white one.
He is. They're theoretically all down at the bottom of the track now, and now they you've got to try and get this as far to the right as possible and nail that kink and carry as much speed onto the Mistral Straight. Etienne Kleb, 9th place in his Bentley, and he is going. Masters in the Porsche in 10th, not too far back, 7/10 back, but he's just out of the draft. You have to get onto the Mistral Straight within half a second. You've got to be 5/10 back. In fact, 4/10 back for the draft to work 100%. Oh, and that looks like the ATK Mercedes.
Dear.
That is Morgan Mccall. He's had a huge problem coming out of the fast right hand at the end of the Mistral Straight. He's just come back onto the track now, and he has a Ferrari as well that's off. Oh, there's been a big drama
That was
happening up
Antle.
at the front row. Yep. So let's just let the timing screens catch up. Takes a couple of sectors before all the positions update. But Morgan Mccall is definitely not in 3rd place at the moment. Yeah, Junior Mccall in 4th place, and as they go over the line, Morgan Mccall down to 15th. So he had a huge moment coming out of the Mistral Straight.
Oh, as we see Hall get closer onto Ferrer's rear end there. Almost had a Mercedes right up his rear end as well.
Yeah,
Just struggling
Morgan
to get his
Mccall.
entrances and exits going there.
He's obviously going to be also driving through the field now for whatever the problem was that he had. It might have had something to do with that Ferrari we saw, but we never saw it actually happen. So I can't tell you what actually happened, except he lost, 14 positions.
Yeah, he dropped down quite far behind, and Dwayne Hall, as we were about to switch on to him, was busy challenging Ferrari. And I don't think he realized he was going to have the luck of passing Mccall in that same corner.
Yeah, we're watching Hall now as he... I'm sorry, we're on Kleb now. Got to just catch up with the screens I'm watching. So Etienne Kleb in 8th place.
Oh, going broadsiding.
Is he caught it? He hasn't. You need to push both feet. He's out in the parking lot, but he's carrying on in the right direction. And gets it safely back onto the track. So essentially a good catch. He's dropped about 4 or 5 positions. And he is back on just behind Morgan Mccall, I think. Vega Grobler in 11th, I'm sorry. Just giving an update. He's already up to 11th. Started 18th, I think.
I think he had, and he's sitting right on the tail. I think if he was any closer, he might be in the boot.
Yeah, we'll watch him as he chases Cabba's Honda through this fast left-right-hander, and then they head down the little straight. They come down to Virage Le Hotel, and then Virage du Camp, a double right-hander, before they lead then back onto the Mistral Straight. French words are not the easiest words to pronounce, let me tell you.
Doing a sterling job there, Mr. Patterson. Let me tell you.
Here we go. So Grobler, he needs to hold this as tight as possible to the right. He gets there, then flicks it left. His foot is flat, and he is 4/10 behind Kerber. So he's in the draft. Watch that gap now close.
It's amazing the speed to get up there.
Yeah. We'll see the delta. He's that's already down to 2/10, I think. And I don't think he's going to be close enough at the end of the straight. He needed to be closer. Honda's got some good speed up the straight here, make no mistake. And then they take that fast right-hander. You have to get back into the racing line before hitting those flags, otherwise you are deemed out of bounds. And then we've got this huge, long, it never ends right-hander. Flick it back to the right, and then hard on the brakes. Carry some momentum through here. Raj de Bendor, and then Corb de Galaban. Sure.
Edison also doing a little bit of a battle from the back after his slide out early on.
Yes.
So he was sitting quite nice and tight right behind Kleb. So also just reminding him, keeping inside his mirrors, showing him that he's going to be putting that pressure on.
Just go 2 cars up to Morgan Mccall in 14th. So there's a train of cars here, and he's definitely trying to get through. He's got Hall just ahead of him, who has Farid just ahead of him, who has Henneberry in the Lambo, who started last, and he's up into 11th place. So here we're already seeing Mccall trying to come through. Hall having none of that and closes the door, but Mccall goes around the outside and now has the inside into the double right-hander. So good pass made there.
Class.
Very nice, very clean. Good respect by all the drivers. And now he's got his foot hammered to the floor, and he's going to go up Mistral Straight. He's next in sight. He's looking at Farid in the Ferrari.
Check out how that car just gets dragged up that hill. That Bentley is getting sucked into that vortex.
Look at that.
Hey?
Yeah. Oh, and we've got Mark Henneberry moving over just up ahead. So he's defending from Farid in the Ferrari. They're almost next to each other, and you can see that Bentley further back. I think that was Etienne Kleb. He was well out of bounds there, and he's possibly got his first warning for off track. Remember, you get 4 of those and you've got to perform a drive-through penalty, I think.
That's it. And those can get tricky.
They can. That's just a complete write-off of your race, getting a couple of those. So, right, Daniel Rowe goes over the line up in first place, and he is 3.9 seconds up the road from King in second. And just doing everything according to the book, even with the extra 24 kilos in the car. Tariq Adam up into third place. He's gone past Junior. So first, second, and third, the usual culprits. Junior Mccall in fourth place, with Ryan Ottens in a great fifth place, and Isherwood, as usual, up there in sixth place and doing well. So we're watching Morgan Mccall, and he's now right behind Mark Henneberry in the Lambo. Mark Henneberry running defensive. Morgan having to just bide his time here. He knows he's got enough pace in that Mercedes. He'll literally just drive right by as they go up the long straight. So he just needs to be patient and pick his moments, and it'll happen for him.
That's it. With 80 minutes, it's you can at least be a little bit more patient than your little 45-minute or half an hour sprints.
100%.
Just wait for those moments where either get dragged up a hill and you get given a good opportunity, or a guy just loses a little bit of grip in the corners, and you take those opportunities. Patience is key. But it seems like Henneberry has just gone past. That's it. Henneberry is just...
Oh, he's done well. Yep. Okay, but now he's going out wide.
And
Morgan goes up in. That's it. Ideal overtaking.
Inside, outside scissors, eh?
Completely.
Roger, over, under.
Roger, Charlie. On the YouTubes, iPhantom shouting for Tariq Adams. Robert McCall say good evening, Robert. Proud dad. He's enlightening us with the AMG Merc 6 kilometers an hour slower on the main straight. So they're kind of getting swallowed up by the McLarens and a couple of the other cars. But the draft will definitely help, and I'm sure they've got good downforce through the corners, as we've just seen. So let's see how that happens. Zander Klingen saying the Lexus 282, 283 until you've got to tap down at the end of the straight. So 283 clicks. Robert McCall saying the Merc's 276. Sean Skitter on the YouTube, good evening.
Yeah, Mr. Skitter. Not sure why you aren't in the race this evening with your yellow Bumblebee.
Let's just blame it on Eskom, shall we?
That's it. Eskom decided to give some drivers the evening off. Unfortunately, Mr. Skitter, I think that also the reason why I remember his name and the Bumblebee so well is a few races back. I think he literally could sniff the finish line, could have got out and pushed his car a few meters, and he would have made it.
Oh, sure. Right, we're currently watching Mr. Cab in his Honda NSX. Also a legendary car, has a huge reputation. This would have almost walked Kyalami last year if it wasn't for some very bad luck. Just up ahead of him, we're looking at Van Beek in the Lexus, who had the quickest time in qualifying for Sector 2. And here he is going up the outside of Bega Krobler and goes round the outside of Johan Bega Krobler's Bentley. And position change. That's 8th and 9th place. So, oh no, Henry. Oh, Mark, what did you do? That's got to be.
That's probably track limits.
You think so early?
Quite possibly.
Gee,
Quite possibly.
20 minutes off-track excursions, possibly, but it's a game-issued penalty. So yeah, you're probably right. It's bad luck. As we watch Bega as he follows Van Beek through the final turn onto the start-finish line. And Johan pushing hard. Johan currently, as I said earlier, before we went into qualifying, up at the top of the Drivers' Championships. Total 207 points, with Tariq Adams second, 176 points. So huge gap there actually, but I'm not sure if there's still rounds to be removed here or if they've got that in place. Junior Mccall currently in third place with 165. So it's extremely close, just in second, third, fourth, and fifth. There's a whole train of cars here by the looks of things behind Bega Krobler's Bentley. And the cars are all pretty evenly spaced out, but in amongst that train is Morgan Mccall, and he is busy trying to drive back up to the into the top 10. And the Bentley thunders up that straight. Look at the Lexus. Look at the top speed of the Lexus. Out he comes, and around he goes.
This broadcaster is taking forever and a day to switch between cars.
So that's okay, no problem. Sorry, man.
No, I should have stayed on that. I'd already selected another vehicle, and the next thing, another nice movie's coming. I'm like, no, don't move off this. And Isherwood also having a drive-through issue.
I see that. Yep, Jason Isherwood also just collecting one now. So currently on Morgan Mccall, and as he goes through the third sector. Yeah, Isherwood drive through and Mark Hennebury. That's really weird to have that. You know, that happened in 20 minutes. So
well, you know, this, and that's the thing, right? It's a lot of these corners. It's a little bit deceiving. You think you've got more space than you have because there's no physical boundaries to kind of gauge. Well, that's what I've found on this track. And with the pressure that and the pace that these guys are going at, I mean, they want to make sure that they don't get overtaken. There's some serious pace behind them. So I wouldn't be surprised that, you know, maybe just a bit of nerves also getting to the guys.
Indeed.
So Isherwood just getting rid of that one for himself. Out into open space, a little bit of catching up to do.
So he's completed his. Mark Hennebury's still got to do his. While we're watching him go through the pits, if you want to jump to 13th place, we've got Mr. Masters. And he has just gone past Hall in his Porsche. And but there's a whole lot of fast traffic right behind him. So Emma Masters doing really well and putting a little bit of daylight between him and Hall in the Bentley. And managed to get through that those last right-hander and the left-hander with enough pace to get away from the Bentley and to get him up the Mistral Straight. There you can see the Mercedes just behind. It's Krayling looking at a move on Hall. No, he's kind of looking, but he's just pulled back in, so I don't think anything's going to happen there. And they close in onto the back of Masters Porsche. This right-hander just carries on forever. Oh, and you see the Bentley, they're almost running a little wide. I guess, you know, with the big open spaces, it's very easy to actually run off track and generate the penalty, Gareth.
Oh, absolutely. It's very deceiving.
Yeah. Without per se a sand trap there or a barrier right there, You kind of, and I guess that's why the penalties are happening, because you're actually pushing the car a little bit more than you normally would, because there's no harm of anything happening. However, you are getting the penalty. So Mark Hennebury hits the pits now, so he'll be completing his drive-through, and hopefully he's nailed the pit stop, the pit limiter at the correct moments. Kralin definitely closing in here on Hall. We're just watching these two as they go through sector 1, coming down to the fast right, left. And if Kralin gets a good drive out of here up onto the Mistral Straight, let's see what the horsepower performance is with the Merc in a draft behind the Bentley.
Just going a little bit upfield as we keep an eye on those, but we've also got Edison creeping up and getting up onto the straight, so I think he's going to get some good speed here behind Mccall.
Wow. He's going to be making a move here. If Mccall doesn't defend, and he does defend.
Mccall goes wide.
Yeah, he goes up the inside. He's got every right to defend that position. Not in the braking zone, but he is ahead of him. And Edison ideally needed to stay. He needed to go right and then flick it left.
Flick it left, that's it.
Yeah.
Those little dummies. Show yourself in the right mirror.
Exactly.
I love those little maneuvers.
He did very well, and everyone did actually very well there. So they carry on to fight another lap. Bernard Barkhuizen on the YouTube, he's screaming. And Amp said, hey, also enjoying the coverage. It's an extremely close race. And all right, there's not a lot of action up for first place, but we're trying to bring you the dices through the middle of the field, courtesy of Morgan Mccall, Addison, Bega Krobler, and a couple of others.
Yeah, this seems to be where some of the good battles are happening. Midfield battles are always fun. And if we had to look again at the, Rowe, obviously still sitting with, he's got quite a heavy ballast. Adam, Mccall. So within the top 5, 3 of them are sitting with reasonable ballasts.
Oh. This bunch that you're watching now with Edison, they're all kind of booking up behind Gerber's Honda. So Gerber clearly struggling a little bit, and Bega Krobler trying to get his Bentley up close and personal as they head onto the straight. But right now we've got Morgan Mccall looking at the back of that Bentley and wanting to make a move. Let's see how they go up the straight here. I'll tell you what, Morgan's close. Bega's going to have to run a defensive line.
Is he going to do to Morgan what Morgan did to Edison, perhaps?
Here we go, here we go. He's not. He's just going to sit in
He
that
could
drop.
cut the inside line.
Oh, they're going side by side. That is some
he gave it to
racing.
him.
And Edison is taking advantage as well. Sure.
Double take. I'm sure Bega's not going to be too happy with himself after that one.
I don't know, Johan was, I think he just let them both go, to be honest. I would have thought he would have moved across to actually defend that line, but he didn't. Right, now we'll see how quick Morgan Mccall can deal with, and he's right here with Gerber in the Honda. As is Edison.
Yo.
Edison doing a big send into the last corner. Decides against it, and there's no contact made. Pulls him back behind Morgan Mccall, and off they go for another lap. They have just gone over, starting the 11th lap. Gerber's going to be a sitting duck here, but I tell you what, the Honda's got good speed up the straight. If he can get to the straight, he can possibly hold on to that position.
That's not something that you see often. 3 to 4 vehicles within 2 tenths or 3 tenths of each other.
It's close. This is a very close dice on the track at the moment. It's the closest out of all of them. Our leaders, unfortunately, just gapping everybody. 5 seconds between Rowe and King. 2.5 seconds back to Tariq Adam, as you can see, and then further bigger gaps. Right, here we go onto the straight. Gerber's foot.
Let's see who's going to tow who.
Yeah. I think Addison is going to arrive at the back of this Mercedes. Oh, here we go. Look at this. Look at the Aston. They're all closing in. And there, Morgan runs defensive up the inside. That's what he had to do. Edison now is going to be blocked. No, he can't do anything. Morgan running the racing line through this corner. This is good racing, I'll tell you what.
Interesting little move there. I mean, he obviously didn't want Edison to take him. He knew if he had continued with that move against Gerber, he could have quite possibly lost his position.
Yeah, exactly. But Edison I mean, look at him. He's good to go. He's got a very racy head on him here, and he's looking for any possible gap. So Morgan not only is trying to get past Gerber up ahead, but he's got to watch his mirrors as well.
I think that would have been a perfect advertising moment for Honda. Honda dragging Merc and Aston up the hill.
That Honda's got legs. It's got huge top speed. On to the start-finish line. And Johanna also looking to attack Edison. Two cars back here, as you can see. Oh, now what is going on up ahead is Redloff in the Mercedes. Oh, he has a good drive. Morgan Mccall got a great drive out of that right-hander, and he's now up on the inside of Gerber and will have the racing line here into this right-left. So that position is done and dusted. Edison looking for a move. Can't make anything happen there. But now watch the Honda speed on the back of this Mercedes. Onto the straight we go. Masters pitting early in 17th place, so he's in. Looks like he's going to do an early stop and then a long run for the second part of the race.
I don't know if he took any damage, did he?
I don't know. I didn't see any.
Or is that just...
It could be an early pit stop.
No accidents shown on his number, so just an early pit stop then.
Oh, the Honda's right here. He couldn't get past, but he's right there. Has to lift. Edison goes up the inside of the Honda. That's some good racing.
Yep.
Oh, and further back I can see also Bago Krobler going past Puri. I think it was. So the Honda of Gerber drops 2 positions. Let's go and watch Mccall. Sorry, Redloff and Mccall. Here we go. They've now caught up to the back of 316. This is Redloff's Mercedes. They're right there. Oh, I think they... Gee whiz, that was close. Right, Morgan Mccall under the wing of Redloff's Mercedes. Gerber chasing him. I beg your pardon, it's Edison. I'm just getting my timing screens to catch up.
So this midfield have, in essence, as a pack, been just climbing the ladder.
They have. As a train, and even, as you say, overtaking each other, they are slowly but surely catching all the cars up ahead of them.
Mccall working hard on his brakes there to make sure he doesn't go up Van Wyk. No, Redloff, I mean.
Redloff, yep. Onto the straight. Here we go. Redloff is going to be in a... Oh, he ran very wide there. Mccall got a good drive.
See a couple of takes here.
There is, definitely. Let's see what happens
here. Comes the whole train.
And that Aston, he's going to now squeeze in between these two Mercedes.
He just wants that position. He's not relenting.
And the Honda's coming with it. Oh, what's going to happen up here? Yeah, oh, look at that. Morgan holding defensive up the inside. He's going to try and stay there, and he's going to try and send Redloff wide. And he does it. Redloff now needs to bring them Aston back in. Oh, he goes right over the nose of Redloff's Mercedes. And all good. No contact made. Great close racing here.
It's
and
fantastic.
The guys are respecting everybody, huh?
That's it. That's it. Giving themselves space where it's due. Closing doors where it's also due.
Exactly. Yeah, good racecraft by everyone, and a bit of opportunistic moves. Oh, the Honda gets very close to the back of Redloff there. So we've got Mccall over the line now in 7th place, and Edison right behind him. And then Redloff in his Mercedes defending from Gerber in the Honda. and the train of 4 cars. It's Gerber, Baker Krobler in the Bentley, and Ferrari in the Ferrari. So a lot of traffic further back. But Morgan now got a bit of a gap ahead of him and needs to try and just run a defensive line all the way around and keep Addison at bay to hold on to this 7th place. Just scouring through the timing screen at the gaps everywhere else, and we're right in the thick of the closest dice on the track at the moment, Gareth. So let's just stay here.
This is where the action's happening.
This is it. No offense to Rowe. I mean, everybody knows Daniel Rowe, knows what his car looks like, but you know, he's not racing anyone. And we see Addison now quickly just arrive on the side of Morgan Mccall. Goes up the inside. Wow, there are pairs of cars going up the Mistral straight. Bagger, Krobler, and Gerber, and positions changed. 3 positions. Sure, couldn't keep.
Can't keep abreast.
Yeah, well, there's a lot going on up there. Yeah, right. So
we're getting close to that time where the guys are obviously going to start looking at the at pitting.
Yeah.
As we get closer to that 40 minute mark.
Strategies are going to start coming into play now. You can see Masters has done his pit stop down in 20th in the Porsche. And let's see what happens going forward. So Krobler did in fact get past Radloff, and he goes over in 10th place. So Bago going from 18th to 10th to 9th now.
That's some good driving.
That's great. Morgan Mccall looking at the back of Addison, so this is going to carry on for I don't know how long. Addison not going to stand for any pushing and shoving going on, and racing Mccall hard. And Morgan going to have to think outside the box on how he can actually dispatch of Addison and make the position stick. And here we go for round number 15 as they're on their 15th lap going up the Mistral straight. I'm just watching a little bit further up in the group at Mccall. On stream we're watching Gerber in the Honda, the extremely rapid Honda, who has Kralin in the Mercedes chasing him down. And there's some gentle waving going on as they go up the Mistral straight. Up ahead looking at, who's that, Ferrari? It is Ferrari going up the inside of Radloff. So Ferrari in the Ferrari making a good pass, and he goes up into 11th place. I'm not too sure if he was coming through the bunch as well. But all the overtakings just making guys go up and forward and backward, with Cab in the Honda going back down to 12th and Kralin in the Mercedes 13th. NA on the YouTube channel saying Luke Addison is the boss. He is in fact gone from last to 7th place. How's that, Gareth?
Now that is something to be done.
Yep.
Being consistent, and I tell you, it's always great to see how these guys do these back to front maneuvers. Being consistent, just sticking to their guns, and just trying to climb that ladder and just staying consistent. That's the key thing.
But also making the passes and making them stick, you know. It's all very well just being consistent and doing lap after lap, but to do that and attack the driver ahead of you and make the passes stick. So, yep, agreed, 100%. At the moment, I can easily say if there was a prize for driver of the day, it's got to possibly go to Luke Addison. Bago Krobler 2 positions back in 9th place. He was not last, but he was 2 positions ahead. So he went from 18th up to 9th. So he's Oh, and that Mercedes in the background, there's a whole lot of drama going on there. That is Redloff's Mercedes.
having gone off.
Wow. So there was a whole lot of hoo-ha with him and the Honda of Gerber. They did manage to catch it. So possibly a little bit of a flat spot on the tire, but yeah, that was side by side on the exit of the Mistral Straight.
Seems like I might also need to switch to a bit of a manual switch between the guys. The broadcaster app went from being slow to completely non-responsive. But that's okay. We've got keyboard.
Good. At least you can change positions, change car positions. So there we go. So watching Redloff with Hall right behind him in the Bentley. And we have Van Wyk in the Lexus in 12th. He's pitting. So he's doing a 50-50 strat. As you said, 46, 47 minutes midway through this race. Give or take a lap. And Van Wyk taking the Lexus in for his pit stop.
So this is where we're going to see Gerber for sure in the next couple of laps, or within the next 10 minutes. Probably shoot up the standings with his late pit stop strategy, if we see some consistency in how he's approached the previous races. And then the guys need to come out again and fight for their position.
Yeah. I've just noticed, and we missed this happen, but poor old Jason Isherwood is down in 16th place. He was in 6th just now.
Yes, he was.
So he's had a huge issue, and I thought, what, did he pit? But there isn't a green next to him.
No, he had the drive-through, correct. Yes.
Okay, excuse us, we're catching up.
Oh, a little bit of fun at the back there as we see Redloff and Hall again.
I hope the guys are enjoying themselves as much as we are enjoying watching them, you know? Some very good dices happening all over the place here.
Maybe as we go through the...
Morgan Mccall's in. Sorry to interrupt you. So he's going in, or the first of one of the kind of faster of drivers. He's pitting early, so he's going to try and look at an undercut possibly. Maybe hopefully come out in a bit of clear air and then pass a bunch of people as they pit in the next couple of laps. At the moment, we've got Gerber, Redloff and Hall all within 2 seconds of each other. Redloff and Hall all over each other as they hit the Mistral Straight. There we go, side by side. Hall trying to go around the outside of Redloff, who's running the defensive line up the straight, hoping to get up at the right-hander. But it looks like the Bentley's made the pass stick. Redloff pulls in for a second draft. Oh, and he does get it, but he has to lift. A little bit of rubbernecking going on with that draft right at the end of the straight, but he did well there.
Yeah, it looked like he might have also tapped on his brakes a little bit just before taking that right-hander. And it's amazing how that slight touch, suddenly you lose 2 to 3 tenths.
So Rick Adam going into pits from 3rd place now. So here we go. It's going to be a lot of position chopping and changing. We'll try and keep you up to date, although you will see those. And there's Mark Hennebury also pitting. So Mark doing his official pit stop. He also had the drive-through earlier.
He did. As we quickly run up to... how does this thing not go on to Mr. Ottens? It was indicating that we had a bit of a...
Yeah, he's in 5th place, Ryan Ottens. Yeah. I think that captured that as he went over the start-finish line because Tariq was in the pits. Yeah.
That is it.
So
For a second there, I thought we had a really good little battle on our hands.
All right, it's happening in 11th, 12th place. Gerber goes into the pits, as does Radloff. So this is it. We're going to now get a little bit busy. Tarek Adams still in the pits. He's pretty much rolling now.
We haven't had too much coverage of the guys up front. And as you mentioned, unfortunately, they're doing a sterling job up there. But the exciting stuff is when it's tail on tail.
There's Daniel Rowe doing a driving lesson for the field here. 8.3 seconds up the road from Bernard King with 3 or 4 babies in the car worth of extra weight. Morgan Mccall, at least Junior Mccall, up into 3rd place, 11 seconds back. And Bernard King peels off and comes into the pits from 2nd. Oh, and Morgan Mccall gets a drive-through. Oh, my word.
Oh, dear.
He's having a torrid time out there. And he's fallen a ways back, all the way back down to 16th. So I think Morgan's had another huge off-track excursion, and it's one too many, and he's now picked up an official drive-through.
Bit of air between Gerber and the rest of the little mid-pack crew. That was giving us some entertainment earlier.
Yeah. Junior Mccall in the pits as well. So Addison going past. Luke Addison now into 5th. He'll pass a bunch of people. We'll just let our screens catch up. Ken A saying Luke caught Ryan Ottens by a good 3 seconds just now. So
sorry for jumping.
That's all good.
We have to do this manual, as my broadcast app is still staring at me, saying it can't connect.
Yeah, when that... is it the camera app that's just...
Correct.
Yeah.
Tried to restart it a few times and it still gave me the middle finger.
Yeah, that won't work. You literally need to out the game and back in. So just use your what you're doing.
Keyboard warrior it is.
Shift and left and right arrows.
That's it.
Okay, all good.
We can go down to Antle. He's keeping Claire busy here. As we've hit the halfway mark, and pretty much half of the field has done their pit stops. So good old Gerber decided to go against the grain. I expected him to push a lot further than he had, so he's already done his pit stop as well. As Antle takes advantage of this towing hill.
Yep,
as he goes past Kleb.
Oh, he's got to bring that Ferrari in. And in the background, that's Isherwood in the Aston. These two are still next to each other. Excuse me. Looking for an undercut. And there you see they both run a little bit wide. That was an off-track excursion.
That's it.
I guarantee you Antel picked up a penalty there. Because he didn't live, because he's dancing for position.
That's exactly
right,
it.
Addison, Luke Addison is in from 3rd place, now down to 4th, with Ferrari in the Ferrari. No need to change positions, just stay there, Gareth, but I'm just watching the timing screen. And Hall also peels off, as we see Antel almost getting underneath Kleb there. And here he goes, so in goes Antel. And you've got to be careful, as you can see, the pit stop limiter is right after that sharp right-hander, and that's very easily you can run into the pits too quickly and you can generate a penalty for speeding in pit lane. You can see the pit's getting very busy here.
That's it as we hit the that halfway mark. I think everyone wants to get that out of the way.
Oh, Masters also drive through in the Porsche now. Okay, so 5 cars in the pits. Etienne Kleb, who is he's still got a pit. Addison is he's pitted and currently net 6th, so he can only improve from there. And
Kruber is also going to push quite far. I think he's, as Ed mentioned earlier, he's definitely one of those that likes to get a couple of extra laps before coming in.
The lead is in. Daniel Rowe peels in from the lead. I think Ryan Ottens in the other Aston. He's busy coming around now towards the start-finish line. We'll just watch if he follows suit. 37 minutes, so we're well past halfway in this race. And I think the majority of the field, and Ryan Ottens runs through. So he's now going to inherit the lead. Vega Grobler in third place, coming onto the start-finish line. And he runs through. So some interesting strategies going on here, Gareth. Like you said, some people going early, others doing dead, middle of the race, and a couple of others are running some gambling strategies here. Ottens and Vega Grobler leaving it quite late. As we watch Antel tearing up the Mistral straight and looking at the back of Jason Isherwood. This aerial chase view from the blimp, it's incredible. You get a good perspective of the speed differential as they're in the draft.
You do, yeah.
Wow. So Antel managed to stay ahead. That Ferrari is slippery. Gee, did well there. Next to each other, all the way around. Some good driving by everyone involved.
Is that another drive through? No, that's just the indication that Masters still has, I think, one lap left before he needs to serve his.
Yep. Also going to just take an opportunity here to make a quick shout out to the sponsors. As you see them on the bottom of the screen, Resource Complete, Racing Club International, TGN Racing Simulators, and the watches, Statement Watches.
That's right. Statement Watches it is.
That's it. And Speed Labs Raceface, obviously. Right, Antel again following very close. Isherwood following very closely and going to try and hang on to the back of the Ferrari as they head towards the Mistral straight. Here we go. Look at that. Vega, Grobler, and Kralin go into the pits in second and third. So Ottens runs deep and he's running longer. Wow, look at the Ferrari get a gap here. So Isherwood's got nothing going on here at the moment.
And that's the thing, if you're not close enough, that Ferrari up that hill is going to pull away from you.
Yeah, it's game over. He's gone. Right, while we watch these guys come up here, I'm just watching Ottens, who's not too far behind these guys, so almost coming up to lap them. And there's another drive-through. Jason Isherwood for running too wide.
Oh dear.
We actually saw that happen on the screen right now.
Well, so that's the thing. Once you've gotten your drive-through for your track cuts, every single time you cut, you get a drive-through. Yeah. So once you've hit that limit, you've got to be so careful.
Exactly.
And I think if you think about it, that's what's taken Isherwood down from 6th all the way down to 18th and possibly now down to last. That drive-through could cost him easy, 20 seconds odd? Close.
Definitely.
So Hanbury could even start making a move there.
He could. Look, he got very close to the Ferrari at the end of the Mistral straight, and it just carried him right through. And you saw him run very wide as they came through that fast right-hander, and he clipped the flags, unfortunately. And he was obviously running already on 3 off-track excursions. That was number 4, and that's generated the drive-through. So that's bad luck for Jason.
Absolutely.
Okay, let's pop up to 6th place. I'm looking at Tarek Adam. I was looking at him. Where's he moved? Oh, there he is. And he's got... No, in Kubi, that pass has happened. Is this for position? So in Kubi's in 5th place. He hasn't pitted yet. No. Right, so Etienne Kleb now comes into the pits. So only 2 left now. It's Ryan Ottens, the leader, who's running exceptionally long. And in Kubi, in the Audi, as you said earlier, he will leave his right up until the last minute.
There's Kleb coming in. And Rose should be able to get that position back. We haven't got a time as yet on how far he is behind, but with Ottens going in, you'll probably see him drop quite a number of positions down again. He's pretty much out by himself in open air. Issue would, if this thing would behave nicely.
Yeah, you got to. It's how they are on the track, so it jumps a little bit forward and backward. Yeah, totally. Okay, so Etienne dropping back now because he's in the pits. Jason Isherwood will have to serve the drive-through, and that's going to be his race for tonight, done and dusted. Although Hennebury's a good 38 seconds back in 18th as Jason comes in now. Okay, 30, just on half an hour left, 31 minutes to go. And everyone's pretty much done their pit stops, barring Ryan Ottens in the lead and Nkubi in his Audi in 5th place.
Yeah, so there we have it. Nkubi normally gets up into the top 5. He's there often for a bit.
And here comes Ottens. So the leader's pitting with 30 minutes to go. So I'm going to just keep an eye back on Rowe. And Rowe comes onto the start-finish line now, so Rowe goes back into the lead of this race.
Yeah, Gerber pulling a move on Hall as he cuts in on the inside. Is he going to get the line? Yeah, Hall gives him a little bit of space and he holds it, licks it, sticks it and sends it.
And doesn't run wide, so yeah, good stuff there. Gerber clearly having a lot of fun with that Honda's horsepower. Okay, Ottens is done. He rolls out of the pits. And as he rolls out, Tariq Adam goes by. Am I right in that? I think it's Tariq. I'm also jumping. It was Tariq. So, Ryan Ottens net 6th from last. No, not, sorry. That was Luke Addison. So, Luke Addison 7th, Ryan Ottens 6th. And we've got Nkubi still to pit, which will then obviously promote them all by 1 position.
Some big gaps happening at the top of the field there.
Yeah.
Going on
huge.
16 seconds between Rowe and King. Adam, of course, keeping King a little bit honest, but I mean, just over 3 seconds. That's a fair amount of space.
And as you are currently, the closest ice on the track is between Gerber and Hall, which we're watching at the moment, and they've had with Radloff not too far back. So these three have had a full-on ding-dong race since the beginning of the race, swapping positions hand over fist. But all right, Tariq Adam in 3rd place. He's only 3 seconds off the back of King. So depending on how hard he can push that McLaren to try and get back up into 2nd, we'll watch that progress with 29 minutes left.
I mean, a 154, not a bad race pace. That's pretty much close to some of the best laps.
Alien lap times, quali lap times, I have seen 53 flats, and expected Division 1 was 53.5, 53.6s. So in race pace, yeah, you know, anything in the low 53s or at least low 54s, high 53s, that'll be some good lapping. Right, Gerber, here we go. Kralin.
Mccall just having taken Ottens.
Oh, there we go. So Junior Mccall, he's just gone past as they head to the Mistral Straight.
So he has a fair amount of time to hunt down Adam. Just over 5 seconds with 28, just under 28 minutes to go. Definitely doable, and I'm sure that's what he's aiming for, as he sees him a little bit higher up the road. Not quite within towing distance, but definitely in his sights.
Ryan Otten's going with him. He's only a second back, so Ryan Otten's not too far behind Junior McCall as Etienne Klebner gets a drive through. So this track's certainly penalizing.
Fast and furious.
Yeah. You disobey that those white lines and you run 4 wheels outside, you are going to get punished.
You know, as I started sim racing, I never realized how difficult it is to keep 4 wheels inside 2 little white lines.
Yeah. And Kubi just generates his drive through now.
Oh, that's a pity.
That is
going
a pity.
so late.
Yeah. So he obviously just had an out of bounds somewhere as well. All right, so 27 minutes to go. Still a lot of racing here. Closest to us at the moment, Bega, Grobler and Greylen.
Well, if we look at the driver standings, Grobler's quite a healthy lead on 187 championship points at the moment. Tariq Adam just behind him with Mccall, the two of them tied second with 165. Then the next three being Gerber, Addison and Rowe respectively on 159.
All three
so
of them,
as it stands, I think Bego Grobler is still in a good position to hold that position of his. It's between Adam and Mccall as to who's going to get some points out of this evening. And McCall's gaining on Adam slowly, just 2/10 up. It might drift again as we get the next reading.
Also, Daniel Rowe, who is 6th out of that whole bunch, and he's currently leading by a whole
mile.
Yeah, a shed load of seconds. So Rowe going to get promoted from 6th and probably go up close to 3rd, possibly even 2nd. But then, as you say, it depends also on where the other drivers finish. So Bego Grobler at the moment, he's hurting the most in 9th and doing his utmost best to get as far up this grid as he can. So you see Greylen and Bego Grobler here. And Greylen, and he's running defensive, closing the door on Bego Grobler. He's definitely feeling the pressure. He's Greyling in the Mercedes.
That he is.
If he needed to run that line through that corner, he knew that Johan was going to look for a move.
Greyling sitting in 12th at the moment for Retro Slipstream on 109 points. So I'm pretty sure he would be keen to try and fight for that top 10 as a mini goal. I'm pretty sure he's not aiming for the championship title, but definitely top 10.
Well, I just had a little bit of a net glitch here. You were talking some robots and the YouTube was revolving, but it still seems all running.
Oh,
Could
fantastic.
it be me? No, it's all good. We're good to go still. It's all back clear. Your Discord feed that I'm watching is very pixelated. So I'm using my timing screen to see names, but I can't make out names or numbers at all. That's how bad the picture is on what I'm seeing, but it's good. We've got a good stream going on the YouTube, and everybody hopefully enjoying this this race. Chat's gone a little bit quiet, but hopefully everyone's there still. Got 19 people watching. And we're down to 24 minutes left of this race. Greylen and Bego Grobler. Oh, I tell you what, and they've just arrived on the back of Van Wyk in his Lexus, so now this is a 3-way battle. Sure, it's actually a 5-way battle. Van Wyk 8th, down to Hall in 12th place. All within 3 seconds of each other, so
it could almost be guaranteed that probably all the way from 15th up will gain a position when Kube has to do his drive-through and pit stop.
100%.
Let's just hope that Isherwood can keep his tyres on the track and not get another one of those drive-throughs.
So I see we've had old Morgan. I think he's had enough of this, and he is disconnected.
Sure, he'll be part of the grandstands by now.
Yeah, he definitely didn't enjoy his evening here. Right, and Kobe hits the pits. He's got to do this twice.
That's going to do his drive through, yeah.
Railing in the Mercedes. Oh, and he's selected the back of the Lexus. And the Lexus does well to straighten himself out there. So he must just put his foot down and go. And he does so.
He decides to go from one parking lot A to parking lot B.
Yeah. Come on, Mr. Van Wyk. Oh, and he's got a drive through for that. That is seriously, he's going to be seeing red mist. So he was on his last possible, and that spin has pushed him off track, and he's generated his own drive through, and he's disconnected. You can kind of see it happen, can't you?
That's unfortunate.
So, man. So Van Wyk leaves us with the Bentley.
Yeah, hard luck there.
Yeah. In 8th place, Hall, 1.2 seconds back in the Bentley, chasing.
Gerben and Hall still having their bit of fun there. I suppose so late in the championships with just basically 20 minutes and a full race to go. If you're not sitting with reasonable points, I suppose the guys figure what's the point.
Yeah, but it's not ideal. I mean, you shouldn't be disconnecting like that. You know, I know of some of the other leagues that if you disconnect, it's you know you're going to get points added against you, negative points. So it's
no 100%. Well, so that's you should actually get if do not finish is the only 0 points you get. There should be points for finishing the race, which can accumulate as well towards your driver championship.
100%. Anyway, I mean, I can understand a bad moment and something happening, but you know, you've the whole part of this thing is to get the car to the end. You're in a race. Finish the race. All right, so there we go. We're just under 20 minutes now. Row 18.5 seconds up the road from B King, who is in turn 3.5 seconds up the road from Tariq Adam. So those are your top three at the moment. Junior Mccall hanging on for ATK Mercedes in 4th place, 6.3 seconds back, and having a pretty lonely drive himself because Ryan Ottens is 10 seconds behind him. So some of these guys literally are driving around going, is there anybody else on the track here?
Just going around trying to find some friends. And each lap we seem to be losing another driver, so we're down to 16 already.
Yep, we've just had somebody else go, and I think that's Nkubi, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, and another one. Well, we also, I don't know what is the time. It might be hitting the hour where Eskom decided to relieve some drivers.
So, Luke Addiston in 5th place from last place. So, great drive.
Absolutely great drive.
Yeah, indeed. A couple of people were saying possibly they were going to get disconnected due to load shedding. We have in fact just gone through 10 o'clock, and that's possibly what is going on here. A couple of people are disconnecting because of load shedding. Gotta love this country.
That is it. That is it. I have the Jenny running in the background just for in case. Luckily, I've only had to do 2 races with the Jenny. I'm sure the neighbors don't mind too much.
Not too sure about that, depending on how loud it is. Yeah, I got 2 inverters here, one to run lights and one to run plugs, and I've had this system running for a good 3-4 years. Oh dear, I see Bernard Barkhuizen saying that at least Ken Ottens, Ryan Ottens is just disconnected. So, yeah, guys, we're losing people due to Eskom for sure. Yeah, wonderful load shedding. What a strange world we live in these days.
That's it.
Okay, so Hall in 8th, defending from Gerber in his Honda. They've been doing this all day, having a huge dust.
Radloff having fallen off of that little battle a bit.
He has. He's dropped back 7 seconds. So right now the closest us is between Hall and Bega Grobler, I think.
That is it.
The Bentleys. And Gerber just 1.5 seconds back. So these three are the closest on track together. Masters in his Porsche in 11th place.
That's it.
Well.
Working up nicely there.
And
The Eskom's helped him out a bit this evening. He can send them a Christmas card.
Mark Antel in his Ferrari. Looking a little worse for wear, I must say. The front and the sides. No, it's the front mainly. So he's had a couple of incidents. Got to love this game in the realism component.
It's absolutely.
Getting
Well, remember, it's not a game. It's a simulator.
It's not a game. It's a simulation.
Absolutely. It's like my daughter the other night was complaining that I'm sitting in the rig too much, and I said, "Well, my angel, it's competitive. It's a sport." She looks at me, she goes, "That's not a sport. Sport is stuff you do outside." I'm like, "Well, it's rich coming from a child having to tell her father that this is not a sport, but it is."
What kind of sport? Show me your bat and ball.
Yeah,
Dad.
where is it? And she loves her cricket. Let me tell you, she'll drag me outside as much as possible to go throw the ball around.
Wicked, man. Good stuff. All right.
Isherwood's still in it.
Jason Isherwood is. He's also had a torrid time, but at least he's still hanging in there. I know Jason's here near me, Flamingo Fly Table View area, and we had load shedding 6 to 8. No, 4 to 6, I think. So earlier on this afternoon. So it's done and dusted for us. The next one will probably be early in the morning, but he's on and still going well.
Les Rowe making his way up towards lapping Isherwood. I'm pretty sure Isherwood will try and avoid that. Sorry for that.
I'm sure he will, yeah. Well, he can try and avoid it, but the inevitable is the inevitable. And Daniel Rowe's speed, I'm sure he's going to get there. With 14 minutes to go, he'll have to give that position or let the pass happen because he is the leader. Oh, even Grobler, Bega Grobler and Hall have now put a little bit of distance between themselves. So 1.1 seconds and larger is the gaps all the way through the field. 15 cars left here. We started with, what did we say, 20?
20.
Okay, so
Henbury still holding out strong.
Canterbury in the Lambo, the sole single Lamborghini. We did have an Audi here just now in Corby who's unfortunately had a disconnect. So there was a single Audi, the single Lambo, a single Lexus that left us just now, and a single Honda. No BMWs or Nissans here.
Yeah, you don't see too many, I must admit. On the odd occasion I'll see the BM, but definitely not something that floods the servers. So King for Team KSR sitting in second spot. Now what would that, where's King at the moment on the standings? So he's 9th position on 123, so these points could give him quite a boost.
Yeah, they'll help him get probably up to around about 6th or 5th-ish, somewhere in the 150s.
Yeah.
Ron Ottens, unfortunately, was lying 8th. He's disconnected. He's at 127. We've got Dwayne Hall, who's in 8th place in his Bentley, and he is 7th overall, for Retro Esports, 136 points. So he'll improve. Daniel Rowe is definitely going to go up from 159 probably to the 180. What is first place points-wise?
Well, it also depends on what whether he
Everyone else
gets
gets
fastest
above you.
lap and whatnot. But first place, I believe, is 25.
Okay.
Well, with just under 12 minutes to go, Mccall's sitting just about 8 seconds behind Adam.
My lights have just flicked, so I am on, but I've either load shedding has just started or it's just stopped.
Right, I'm glad it's barely noticeable for you.
It is.
It's like I had a glitch in the matrix. I'm not sure what's happened. It doesn't quite happen like that for me. If there's load shedding, I know it because I see nothing.
Oh dear. I'm like the only house on the street and everything's still on and running. It's good. I enjoy it. I mean, you've got to do it. This isn't going to go away anytime soon. Let's put it that way. So you might as well find 10 grand and, buy a good inverter, a Mustech 1440 and 2 big 100 plus amp hour batteries and, get it connected up or something like that.
And off you go.
Yep.
Addison in 5th. Going to get himself some nice points this evening as he's basically sitting in tied 3rd with Gerbe and Rowe. So he's going to keep himself in contention for top 5 at least.
He has done exceptionally well in tonight's race considering he started last. So he knew he had a lot of work to do. I don't know, did he qualify? Did he not have maybe a quali ban or something? What?
Adam getting a drive-through.
Oh my word, Tariq Adam picks up a drive-through with 10 minutes left in this race. Tariq Adam currently sitting 2nd. He's going to be stressed about that, I can tell you.
And if his timing, if he has to go through now, he's going to lose a position probably to both Mccall and Addison.
Yeah. Yeah, he will drop. Possibly he'll come out in about 7th-ish, maybe just ahead of Bago Krobler, I think. It's a good
That's such a pity.
Yeah, here he goes. He's peeling in now. Nails his pit stop limiter, so he's rolling through now. I'm watching. So Addison hits the start-finish line and he goes past.
So I get through to.
Yeah, Addison passed. Okay, so Tariq's almost at the end of the pit lane.
Oh, it's not wanting to go to him. Where's
Kralin
Addison?
just gets onto it. Yeah, Addison's gone through, so Kralin's coming down the start-finish line. Tariq's out. So Tariq in 5th place. Yeah. Right, not too much hurt done, but hurt nonetheless.
Absolutely.
And look at that, Addison. Wow, 4th place from last. Isn't that a drive of the day?
Absolutely.
Yeah, he's done well to get there. Defos.
Yeah, we started kicking off a bit of a blooper of the day. And the first day we decided to introduce it, Kipia Villar as the technician, I think got the award for all the glitches that went. But this evening, I think that might even land up going to Isherwood with all his unfortunately drive-throughs. Yeah. There Henbury. I don't know who's had the most.
Yeah. Go to maybe just jump to 7th place. Bago Krobler. Him and Hall, nose to tail up the Mistral Straight in the Bentleys. They were side by side going through the double right-hander. So these guys having a huge out-and-out dice. You can see Krobler driving defensive up the inside. He's forcing Hall to go around the outside. And Hall lifts and backs out of it, and through they go.
I see that's also an art, just knowing how to place your vehicle, where to place it, when to place it, just to
Yes.
keep the guys at bay. Just also to make them think twice before trying to make that attack, and not leaving it too late till it's dangerous and then decide to
Yeah.
close off. Or it's good lessons being taught here.
Yeah, look, you can, you shouldn't be changing positions in the braking zone. When you're that close to a corner, you should be either on the inside of the track or the outside, and there shouldn't be a movement being made. But again, it depends on how the rules are written. And but these guys, that's exactly what Johan Baker-Krobler had to do. He had to run up the Mistral straight, and he went up the inside of the straight to hold the apex for that big long right-hander, which forced Hall around the outside. There was nothing. It's
Nothing
exactly
he could
what
do
he
there.
had to do. Yep. So good racing by everyone. Anyway, here they come down towards the bottom of the track again, and we'll see how Hall carries his pace through this part of the track and tries to hang on to the back of Johan's Bentley.
There's the diehard Honda, not too far behind.
Yeah. Sure, yeah. There has been a fair number of drive-throughs issued tonight, I must say. Thanks, Bernard Barkhuizen, saying good commentary. So nice one there. Thanks for the comments, chaps.
Thanks, guys. Always appreciated to get that kind of feedback.
And Gareth, good fun commentating with you, buddy. So thanks for the evening.
No, thank you.
Yeah, good. Most welcome. Oh, look at this. Baker-Krobler getting very close, at least Hall. And Hall again trying to go around the outside. They are super close as they come through Sector 3. Last couple of corners before they get to the start-finish line. So Hall definitely trying. You know what this does as well is it also forces the driver ahead to run super defensive lines, and not being able to take the racing line, that compromises your overall line through that corner, and you run risk of actually going out of track on the exits of corners because you're defending the normal line. So Hall pushing hard like this, Krobler, if he's not careful, might run one too many times, four wheels over the white lines.
Yeah.
And he'll get into trouble there.
I'm not sure who pitted first and how the tires are looking and how the fuel is looking, because that's that also starts playing into it. Because as you said, you start doing some maneuvers to defend, and you have the wrong weight distribution, you have the wrong tire grip, and you have at the wrong time, and that's it. It's game over.
Yeah, a whole pile of problems all accumulate at once. Go and head up back onto the long Mistral straight. And Hall is quite close here.
It's
so
going to be close enough.
Yeah, he'll be close when he gets up to the end of the straight. Again, Baker-Krobler's he's already defensive. He's running up the right-hand line of the straight. And that just immediately says, Hall, if you want to go past, well, now he's putting it in the middle of the track. Then he goes back to the right-hand side. So here comes Hall up the outside, and he's run out of track. He's got a lift, and they go through the right-hander.
Just that
Awesome
bit of brakes.
Wiped, eh? Yeah.
Always kills you there.
He gets quick through here. He runs through this double right-hander, this big looping right-hander, and then gets huge drive and gets right underneath the wing of Johan Baker. He's a little bit further back here, but they're all behaving. So we're down to just under 3.5 or near 3.5 minutes to go. And Mark Henneberry peels off into the pits to do his drive-through. Daniel Rowe, 23 seconds up the road. Absolutely. Complete domination. Start to finish, flag to flag. Well done. B. King in second, and the youngster Junior Mccall doing awesomely well, as is expected, and rolling in for third place and getting some good points here.
lot of air between the other drivers.
Lots. Except for these two.
So we have under 2.5 minutes left. Pit stop, the pit window opens or closed some time ago. Luckily no one else needed to complete theirs. Hopefully we don't see too many drive-throughs in this last minute or two, because that will most certainly destroy anyone else's race as it has everyone else for the evening.
100%.
There's Hall sneaking up again on Grobler.
Yep. I mean, these guys know exactly where the right line is to go around here, and all Hall can really do is, you know, try and get try and be better at that racing line and get a better drive out of a corner. Yeah, you can see he gets very close now as they head down towards the last two corners onto the start-finish line, and he closes in here very nicely. Needs to now get a great line through this right-hander and then get on the gas as soon as he can and carry his momentum through. But Johan does exactly the same thing, and that gap stays static. So,
well, as we see it going up this hill or down the straight, we should see a little bit of a gain. If he can just maintain the speed and try and take advantage on the next one, but Bago on that long straight has been pretty good on the defense. But yeah, so Hall, I think, needs to stay on Bago's Hall as close as possible.
He's got to stay as close as possible, that's for sure. And he's right there. So let's see what happens now. He's trying everything he can. Yeah, he needed to hug this right hand a little bit more. Get on the gas. Don't spin the wheels up. And
oh, there he's got that space.
Yeah, this is good. Yeah, he's close.
He definitely needs to try an outside inside or something. If he
he's got to swing it left, right, left, or right, left, right. Here he goes. He got right there by the bridge, and Bago's just gently drifting across. He can't go any further, and Hall's going up the inside.
Oh.
Hall's got this corner. Bago moves over to the racing line. Hall's going to be compromised through here, but he's going to hang on. He's going to hang on, and he does.
Sure.
Bago's not going to try and undercut him. Yeah, great pass. Boys are having fun out there, man.
That was a calculated pass coming for quite a couple of laps already.
Yeah, Bago looking up the inside.
Oh,
and run wide. Oh,
what a pity.
See the reverse pressure there. At least he wasn't running 3 or 4 off-track excursions, because that was a drive-through happening. So
that would have been a
he's
killer.
Possibly picked up a penalty, but that's it. Time's up.
That is it.
Right in. Yep.
As we try and get to our man.
It's just coming at the end of Mistral Straight, so through sector 3 now. Awesome drive. Well done, Mr. Rowe. With 24 kilos of cheeseburgers and chips there, you've done an exceptionally good job.
It's crazy that he could maintain that pace and pull from the pack like that.
Unbelievable. Even from his own teammate, Tariq, having bad luck with the drive-through.
Yeah, that is unfortunate. I kind of expected a lot more of seeing Rowe towing Adam around the track a bit.
Yes.
Been seeing that of late, but yeah, this evening, unfortunately, early up, they got separated from each other, so they had to do their thing, and that is it.
Checkered flag's out, and that's a flag-to-flag win for Daniel Rowe of Team Hybrid Academy. This is the Team Velocity Hybrid Academy. B King, he rolls through for second place. Over the line in the Aston Martin, also great effort, well done. Weaving from left and right, and great finish. And third place, the youngster for 80k, Mercedes-Benz, flashing his lights. Great finish, Junior Mccall. Robert Mccall on the YouTube, he must be a very proud dad. Luke Addison into 4th place from last. Huge drive for that man.
Fabulous drive.
And he's also weaving around, and he takes the fourth place. Tariq Adam, fifth, and he just hammers the McLaren into the pit wall. Sixth, Krayling in his Mercedes. Seventh, oh, look at these two.
Oh,
Ah, look at the Bentleys.
they are still at it.
Gee. Johan Bago manages to
Down
hold on
to the wire.
and right over the line, nose to tail with Hall. So they had huge fun. And then 8th place, Kaber in the Honda, the lone Honda. He did well as well. 9th, Radloff. And Masters in 10th for the Porsche. Awesome stuff. Great race to watch. I really enjoyed that. It was good stuff.
Absolutely. Battle of the evening, I think, definitely has to go to Hall and Bago. I mean, that was entertaining. They kept that going. But some great points, and again, Hybrid coming through and cleaning up with the points, the championship points again for going into the final round.
Indeed. Yeah, it was a lesson all on its own. McLaren showing some huge pace at this track, and obviously other tracks, because they're where they are in the championship. But yeah, that was amazing.
Mr. Patterson, and thank you very much for joining us in the booth this evening.
Gareth, thank you very
I look forward
much,
to
sir.
future ones.
Yeah, we will do that in future. Thanks to everybody on the YouTube channel for joining us. Ken A, Bernard Barkhuizen, and everybody else. It's been fun, and I'm going to say goodnight from my side. Thanks, everyone, and cheers.
Good night. Keep well. Thanks for all the support, guys, in the channel. And we shall see you next week for the final round at Suzuka. Hasta la pasta.
Cheers.